Well, today I decided to do some traveling. I have made my way up several back roads that have led to dead ends. Unfortunately, a lot of those places had gates, and I was unable to get through and continue on my way. I just came up this one last road in the area that I wanted to search. I knew of a couple of cellar holes up on the mountain that I had been told about from friends of mine that are hunters, and they've been up in this region a few times. And they said you should go up and give that a check. So that's what I was gonna do. So I made my way up the road, all the way up to the top of the hill. And of course, there's another gate there. Fortunately, there's a house right on the corner. And I have talked to the landowner, and he does not want the house shown. He wants to be private, he wants to keep it private, but talking about a lot of stuff, he actually knew some of my family members, which was really good because he's just granted me permission to dig my heart out all around the property, and that's what I'm gonna do. He said that it was built in the 1790s. It's got granite slabs for the basement. It's got the center chimney, which comes right up through, and it's just an all-around beautiful house. There's a big pond in the back. There's some fields adjacent to that, and as you see right behind me, I'm standing in one of those fields that's directly across the road. It's been a weird day so far. Hopefully the day turns into a great day relic-wise. I was planning on doing some cellar holes today, but when opportunity knocks, you gotta answer. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hit this property with my metal detector, and let's see if I can find you guys some good relics today. So my first target, let me get it so you guys can hear it here. Kind of a choppy, not very crisp, but it's a high tone. And it's showing 8 inches down, so let's hop on in there, see what it is. Now again, I'm right across the road. This is a little field section that I wanted to hit right away. I know there was a barn over here at one point. So there was probably a lot of foot traffic in and out of this little section here. So man, when it said it was 8 inches, it wasn't kidding. I think it's actually a little bit deeper than that. Now, of course, you start getting deep with a good high tone, it becomes more and more of a good chance that it's just a piece of rusted out old iron. And wouldn't that be something if my first target today was an oxen shoe? We'll see. I don't see any rust, so I didn't like that sound. That's just a rock. But perhaps that's why I was getting a choppy tone, was because of that rock right there. Big old rock. Okay, it should be almost out. Nope, I can actually see it. Let's see. That looks brass. It actually, see if I can get you guys over here. You see this right here? Right there. It's a brass, huh? Yeah, I did have the pin in there, but unfortunately it just popped off. Well, I don't know, that's a good 10 inches down. The machine said 8, but that's about 10. But I mean, if I'm picking up tones like that, it's a good sign. It's just a D-buckle, probably off a horse harness of some sort. And considering we're right next to where the barn site used to be, that's probably why I'm going to find this stuff. Let's put this away and see what the next target brings. Again, way down deep. I had a choppy high tone, and that just popped out of the ground. It's another little horse tack buckle, if you will. And that one actually looks like it has some silver plating on it. But hey, we're into some old stuff. Can't complain about that. So I'm thinking it's going to be a buckly kind of day. There's another one. See if the pin's in this one. Oh yeah, there it is, all rusty. But the brass stays nice and clear of all that rust, and that's what you're left with. I'm going to swing around in here a little bit longer and probably head on over to the main yard of the house, because I'm just getting into this and those rusty old iron targets that nobody really likes to dig. I got a pouch full already, so I'll put it away and then head on over that way. So that's where I started, out in that little pasture area there. Came through here, came across the way, and my first target over here in the yard, and unfortunately it broke as I pulled it out of the hole. Can you tell what I got based on that? If you guessed a spoon, you're absolutely correct. It's silver plated, and that was a beautiful spoon, but unfortunately, like I said, when I grabbed the handle out of the ground like this and I pulled it up, I felt it pop. So I'm left with two pieces. Nice shiny relic. Maybe there's some silver coins out here. Time will tell. And I've got some land to search. And just so you guys can see, there's also a huge field down there. The house is over here, which I'm not going to show, but there's a pond down there too, and it kind of drops down. There's an old road that goes down there that has stone walls on either side. So good piece of land. We'll keep at it, see what else the day turns up. So the dirt over in this yard is just unbelievable to cut through. It's like butter, all the way down about a foot. Good old land to be searching. And I guess I'm just not going to get away from them. Yeah, I think today's just going to be a buckly kind of day, like I said. So I'll put this in the pouch with the others. See you at the next target. Well, now the spoons are starting to show up. There's another one. Doesn't look very old. That might have been plated. I think that was plated at one point. But, oh well, we'll keep at it. So I've been searching the whole yard. I've searched the side yard, I've searched the front yard, I went down into the back. I'm digging a lot of iron parts. I was talking to the gentleman, there was a barn here that actually extended out of the side of the yard, and that's probably why I'm getting into the buckles and the old iron pieces. I've got some cast iron pieces from a stove. No relics other than, I mean, I got another spoon bowl. I got those buckles. I picked up another buckle along the way, but other than that, I'm not really getting into anything. So down behind me here, as you can see, down by that pond, there's some giant apple trees, and those apple trees are very old. I'm gonna start working my way down this bank here, heading around the pond, get into that area, and hopefully get away from a lot of the modern trash. There's still a lot of modern trash here that's kind of drowning out all the old stuff that's a little bit further down in the ground. But other than that, I'm getting iron relics and nothing really fancy. So I'm gonna shoot down there, see what else happens. So again, I've done it to myself. I mean, I get these permissions that are just absolutely enormous, and I know that there's probably a lot of stuff up by the house, but again, it's masked by all the modern trash. And I mean, the gentleman's been living there since he was since he was a child. He was telling me a story about when he was 8 years old. This pond behind me, he was just telling me that they actually dug that out. It used to be a cranberry marsh where they used to raise or grow cranberries. So there is a lot of history around, but as you can see, and as you've seen around with the drone footage and with my footage that I've been showing you here and there throughout the day, there's just so much land to cover. And unfortunately, again, very private gentleman, very kind, very nice, he tells us stories about the land, tells us stories about growing up here, showed me some of the trees that he had planted when he was a kid with his mom. But he's very private, and he doesn't want anybody but me on this land, which is very unfortunate, because I would love to be able to bring a lot of people to a place like this, because with more people, there's more chances of finding stuff, and you can kind of hone in on those areas. So what I'm doing right now is I've worked my way down from the house. I've come around the pond, and I'm working this back section here with some of these apple trees, and not really a whole lot of tones, which is kind of a good thing, because, you know, I'm not digging a lot of trash like I was up by the house. But right down in this hole, I just plopped out part of an old harmonica, and I mean, that still has a lot of the stuff left to that harmonica. Obviously the wood outing, or the casing, is gone, but it gives you an idea that, I mean, there were people down here, and if they were down here playing the harmonica, who knows what else they were doing. I mean, clearly they were hanging out. And like I was saying, if you look over here, I mean, there's just land everywhere. He owns, I think he said like 400 acres or something. But I mean, there's just remnants of colonial stuff and things from the 1800s, 1900s. I mean, there's remnants of it everywhere. And right along there, from up above the house, is that old cart path that comes down. There's a stone wall on either side of that little pathway right there. So I've got a lot of land here, and I don't have really a whole lot of time before it gets dark. So I'm going to keep at it. I'm doing the best I can to show you guys some good relics that come out of the ground here in New England. But I mean, I'm keeping it real. This is how it is when we go out digging. Just because the land's old doesn't mean you're going to find a ton of stuff. You know, it's a lot of work that a lot of people won't put in. So I'm out here, I'm doing this. I've been invited to come back. You'll probably see me back here at some point, probably later on in the fall. I'm going to focus on this little area here. I'm going to work the cart path back up. There's a little section up there that's all mowed as well. It looks like a lower field. And let's see what the evening can produce. It's not always easy, but you got to keep at it, and that's what I'm going to do. So right over there is where I just found that harmonica. And I came over here, I had a little bit of a scratchy tone. And I just popped out an old thimble. You don't find a lot of these intact. They're usually broken up by lawnmowers or tractors or whatnot. But perhaps I'm in the pocket of relics, so I'm going to keep swinging around here. See what else pops out of the ground for you. I got a good mid-tone with a little bit of a high tone mixed in there. I'll give this one a shot. It's just really rocky. Grab you guys real quick. Let's see. What do we got here? Ooh, actually, oh man, I hit it with a shovel, but that's all right. It's broken. It looks, is that a shoe buckle?
I've been digging so much trash that it's hard to tell. That's an old shoe buckle. That's a shoe buckle frame. It's too bad it's completely broken. I kissed it right there. You can see that nice shiny spot. Nothing else in the plug. No. Well, there we go. All right, well, hey, I've worked hard for it. Part of a colonial shoe buckle frame. It doesn't look like, well, there might be some design on there. Little circles or something, but just make sure. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. You can see where the pin would have went right there. So that would have been squared off. Obviously, it's rounded. And, you know, it'd go right there with the strap going through. The chapin tongue is obviously not in the hole, which I was hoping it would be, but they were probably out here farming and that snapped off and they just continued on their way. I'm going to keep moving and work back towards the house. It's getting late in the day, so let's see what else turns up. Well, I've been working very hard today. I put on a few miles, I'm sure. Covered a lot of ground. Haven't really found a whole lot. I have been avoiding one thing all day long, and maybe this is the luck changer, I don't know, but can you guess what I have in the hole? It's coming back from down that way. This is the area that I started in first thing when I got here this morning, and yep. But look at the size of that one. I was just thinking to myself, man, I've gone all day long without finding an ox shoe, and well, can't stay away from these things up here in New England. There's another fine example of the history around. We walk over this stuff every day. Unbelievable. So you can see I'm parked right down there, and this is a small area that I've searched this morning when I first got here. I didn't really pay any attention up further here because you can actually see the mow line right here, and it would just be tough to swing in this stuff. It doesn't really look high on camera, but it's fairly high, and you can't really get the coil down on the ground. It's outlined by a very old stone wall, and it just goes down into there, corners off, shoots all the way down there and up over the horizon here, or over this point. Right in, see if I can find it again. It's a good solid mid-tone. I'll set the camera up and I'll let you guys watch. And again, man, there's rocks all through this. Definitely just an old pasture. I don't know, maybe that's why I found that oxen shoe down there. But I wanted to give it a fair go before I leave because I want to know where to go if I decide to come back. So let me get my pinpointer. What's that right there? Oh, under this rock. There it goes, it just popped. And that, I think, and I hope, wow, look at that shine on that button. Shank intact. That's an old tomback right there, boy. Man, I should have stayed up here. I don't know why I do that to myself. I see all this land and I'm like, I gotta go here, I gotta go there. Man, that's not a bad way to end the day. Maybe that oxen shoe did change some luck. Look at that, shank intact and everything. That's just dirt in the middle there. It's not rust, I don't think. Oh, popped right out. Look at that oldie. We'll put it away. And I'm gonna, again, I'm just gonna see what happens. The day's almost over, why not? That tomback button just came from right about there on that grass line. I worked through here, there's a nice big rock there, it's all covered up by the grass there, but kept on working down here. Had a little bit of a mid-tone right here next to this rock. Dug the plug, obviously, it came up nice and clear off that rock. See that right there? That's a musket ball. And I think is that dropped? Let me see. Oh, you can see where it was cut from the mold right there. And it does have the mold marks on it. That's a drop musket ball, so someone was out here carrying around a few rounds and dropped it. Very cool. So I'm telling you, that oxen shoe, there's something about them. They're lucky. I finally found one, and just like that, back-to-back relics. Well, as you guys all know, you watch my videos. Many of you stick through it all. Good times, bad times. Times I don't find a whole lot. And I'm telling you, it just seems like every time I get somewhere, I should just start and stop at the same spot. I shouldn't move around, because now, again, as I was just saying, I'm getting into this tall stuff, which is actually, it's not very hard to swing. It's getting late in the season, so the ground is, or the grass is starting to dry up, and it's very easily manageable to kind of get the detector in there and swing through it, but can't still get down all the way to the ground, so you're losing some depth. But I just had another banging tone, and I'll let you see for yourself. Right down in the depths of that hole just popped that beautiful thing. That's another Conestoga Bell. I've found a few of these this year. Not every one of them have been on camera. I found a part of one last week with the boys from All Metal Militia, but there we go. I hit it right there, I think. But just like that, day turns around. Of course, the sun's setting. Beautiful sunset over that house, but I don't want to show you the house, just to keep my word to the landowner. But it is getting late. He's an elderly gentleman. I don't want to stay out here too much longer. I want to show him the stuff that I found, and he's welcome to keep whatever he wants. So I'll swing back to the truck. If I get anything else, I'll let you know. But I think that's a wrap. So here we go with today's finds. A lot of junk, a lot of iron parts, pieces of scrap tin metal, some heavier duty parts. I mean, a lot of this stuff came from this last spot, well, the first spot that I started and the last spot that I ended. So I will probably come back, especially after digging up some of my best relics of the day. But I mean, this is what turned it all around. You saw me working the entire yard, the entire property. There's plenty of more land around here to search, so I will be back to this spot. I just don't know when. I don't like going back to the same spot over and over and over. It kind of kills it for the homeowner, and you know, you don't want to overstay your welcome. So I'll probably be back up in a few weeks, let it cool down, let the grass die down, and all of that stuff. But see all the D-buckles that I've pulled out today. A lot of horse tack, a couple spoons. This one was silver plated. Unfortunately, it broke when I pulled it out of the ground. Got the old harmonica down there by the pond. There's another spoon bowl that I pulled out of the ground. To end the day, well, before we ended the day, I got that thimble down there by the pond as well. I left it packed with dirt to let it dry out. Maybe it'll harden up and keep it from breaking. So I'm gonna clean that out when I get home and just be very careful with it. I've got the old fishing lure there that I'm gonna show the gentleman. Maybe he'll want that back. It might bring back some memories. The musket ball, as you can see, that's where it was crimped from the mold, and you can still see the mold line there. So that's a drop musket ball for sure. This right here, right after the oxen shoe, pulled out an old dandy button. So very happy with that, and I was happy to end the day with that. And then this popped out. Too bad it didn't have the clapper in there still, but actually it looks like I might be able to hook one in there. It looks like there's a little something in there, so maybe I'll make that ring again after however many years it's been, a couple hundred maybe. But yeah, very cool old Conestoga Bell that went to wagons and whatnot back in the day. Can't forget this either. I mean, that was also down by the pond. So as you've seen, there's a lot of area to search, and there's just relics hidden pretty much in every nook and cranny of this property. So the gentleman is very kind, unfortunately very private. Doesn't want me to bring a whole lot of people. I might be able to convince him, you know, to bring one or two other people up here, just because of the massive amount of land that's here. And hopefully he sees that I respected his land, and you know, I'm going to show him everything I find, and he can keep whatever he wants. But just like that, the day's over. As you can tell, it's getting dark very quickly, and I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to knock on his door. I'm going to show him everything I found, and we're going to call it a day. Till next time, stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you for watching. Happy hunting.